yeah. Scalpers USA, yeah.
This is Car Bros Podcast, episode 74.
The big 7-4.
We are back.
Big ol' 74.
Mm-hmm.
Holiday-ish edition.
Yep.
Possibly the lamest holiday of our lifetime.
Very special.
Yeah, very special holiday edition. First of all, let me just address the elephant in the room. Yes, I am using a new MacBook Air.
A late 2020 MacBook Air M1.
He's been talking about it for weeks.
I just want everyone to know. Yes, welcome back. Thank you for being here. What is up to our patrons? Very special hello. Love you guys. And what is up to everyone else? Also, the other real elephant in the room for the people who are on video is we have finally crossed 100,000 subscribers.
With a big asterisk.
With a big asterisk that those are all across the globe.
Let's just say,
I will say.
It's an international
Global audience. Yeah.
Well, let's call it an international victory.
And very, very youthful as well.
It's a youth-oriented international brand. So we are very proud of that. And here's the award. YouTube sends you a little
plaque
award.
I do like nowadays when people use the word international, like you can kind of tell like what countries they're talking about.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, we're big in like Sweden and Tokyo.
Yeah. Fast and the Furious is an international success.
Yeah.
Not just Brazil and China.
Russia.
India.
Yeah. We are talking about Denmark. It's a smash hit.
We're talking about Rome.
Yeah. Anyways, Car Bros is an international
Success.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I plan to be buried with this award.
Yeah, we are proud of it.
Cut into 3 pieces.
Whichever one of us dies first gets to be buried with it.
I would say ties
I
last.
think that's not how that works. Yeah. So at 100,000 you get this, and then at a million
you get a gold one.
There's a gold one. I'm curious.
And then then the 10 million, there's a diamond.
Oh, really?
Damn.
Wow.
We're never gonna get that.
Yeah, that's,
maybe.
I mean, I don't know.
Maybe if India keeps, their population growing.
I think you mean our international.
Like we're popular all around the globe.
That's true.
We're big in Brazil as well. It's not just that. Okay, so moving on. I just got back from a 30-day photography trip, basically, in the Pacific Northwest. So Oregon and Washington for our international listeners. And so it was 5,000 miles in a month in the Lexus, in my LX 470, which I just put like legitimately about $6,000 into before I left. I replaced every bushing on that car.
Just kink.
Yeah, I'm just really into
bushings.
OEM resto mods of 13-year-old cars. But while I did the steering rack exploded on that thing. It literally just gave out.
It did?
Yeah.
When was
I
this?
don't think I remember hearing about
It's common at
Hey, I thought those things are fucking built
Just
like
a
a
little
tank.
yeah, they are. It's common at 200,000 miles.
I thought yours only had 60.
Yeah. And so mine made it 220,000. So the steering rack was like,
This was before you left.
Yeah, this was before I left. And I knew that was a I mean, I knew when I bought it, it was leaking. I looked at it. And
You knew it
the
wasn't
boots were
built very well.
wet.
You're like, this is odd.
Honestly, that was one of the
for
things.
55,000 miles.
65,000 miles and the steering rack is leaking. Like,
Come on.
Like,
This guy must be really doing some
it's like-
hairpin turns.
Yeah, I was like, this
left
guy
and
must have
right.
been like wheeling or something. Just like the amount of like data points I ignored. Like, that is young for a steering rack.
Cognitive
but whatever.
dissonance.
Yeah. And so like I was expecting it to happen, and then it kind of, I mean, blew out is dramatic, but it was leaking a lot. And so I replaced the steering rack, and it's the worst repair job on those. And so I had my friend do it. I was like, here. But when he was in there, he's like, one of these bushings is kind of loose in the upper control arm. And I was like,
uh-oh. I'm not going to be able to sleep for a week.
yeah. And so Toyota won't sell you, like it has upper and lower ball joints. It's a double wishbone suspension in the front, and you connect to the upright with ball joints and the top and bottom arm. And Toyota won't sell you ball joints for whatever reason. They don't trust you to like press new ones in. They only sell
the full assembly, right?
It's only the whole control arm, top and bottom. And they make aftermarket ones, but there's always people online who are like, "What? I don't trust the." There's a reason that Toyota, whatever. And so I was like, if I'm going to do the bushings, I should probably do the ball joints. And then, I mean, long story short, it spiraled into new upper and lower control arms, which is every ball joint on the car, because I also did the steering rack and the outer tie rods. So it's every bushing in the front.
I've done this many times in car mechanic simulator.
Yeah. So you know.
Yeah.
So you know. And then it was like, well, I can't do the front and not do the rear. So it was all 5 of the control arms that support the rear axle. So that was like from Lexus, I think it was like $5,000 worth of parts. But parts for this thing are cheap as shit out of Saudi Arabia.
All right.
They're super cheap.
Top tip.
Seriously, top tip. Toyota truck parts out of the Middle East are like a quarter of list price, even shipped. Yeah,
You probably could have got like another 5% off if you told them you were car bros. They were
I
probably
know.
fans.
Yeah, let them
Probably fans of the
International.
send them a picture of me. So, anyways, I did all like this thing is like new now, essentially. But it was, I don't know, I would say worth it because I was in it for so long. It's like I knew that stuff would bother me. So it's riding pretty nice now. So 5,000 miles. I mean, that thing was it was perfect. It was like some really light off-roading, but a lot of freeway and hauling a bunch of gear, and it was great. The only thing I don't like about it, literally my only complaint about that car, other than the fact that I was deeply swindled by
Emotionally scarred.
yeah. My only complaint about the car itself is there's no intermittent setting on the wipers. You know, like the first click is usually like you can do like once every 10 seconds and like slow it way down. This only has auto. The first click is auto, which is like it will decide.
And it doesn't have even a sensitivity.
No, it's just
It'll
like
try its best.
it will.
It'll use its computer.
Or you can turn it on low and high.
Yeah.
And so the only mode it has is auto, which is like weirdly inconsistent. Like sometimes it's good, and then sometimes it'll hit a big enough like fly.
And just start activate.
And it'll like
Smear
register. It'll register that as wetness. And so that was a little bit lame. But I got used to it because it wasn't too bad. But the other thing it does when it's in auto is, you know, when you're driving a car on a long enough road trip, it just gets dirty in a way that is like very dirty. It's just like road grime and like atmospheric dust. And, you know, and so this is like toward the end of the trip, this thing has like a layer of dirt on it. And the windshield wiper is in auto. And what I didn't realize is if it detects that there's rain and you have it in auto and you put it in reverse, it will automatically turn on the rear wiper for you, which is fine, except when your windshield has...
Yeah, it's not. It's just dirt and grime.
Yeah, and it's just like...
just let me clear this up for you.
Yeah, and so it just will...
I'm sure you had an emergency bottle of perfect glass.
Well, it's not that. It's just like it's scratching the windshield. You can hear it like scratching the rear windshield. So that was kind of annoying. But literally, that was my only complaint. That thing is so incredibly tested. It's clear that they like lived with it during development because there's just a lot of small things about it that were so well judged. I really like that thing. Highly recommended.
What kind of mileage did you get?
I think I averaged like under 18.
That's not bad.
It's not terrible, but it's
This is a V8 lifestyle, bro.
Yeah,
You gotta deal with that.
It's not.
That's
great.
like what the Jeep gets, like on the freeway, it gets 19-ish, 20-ish, but that's because it has cylinder cut. That's like, when you're cruising, it's only on 4 cylinders.
Yeah, this thing is crazy. It'll do like 19 miles per gallon at 65 miles an hour, and then like 16 at 70.
Yeah.
it's like you're just
weird through the air.
yeah, you're like at this wall, and so I don't know, but yeah, it was fine. It was great. Beautiful country, beautiful area,
Beautiful people.
beautiful people, salt of the earth. So here are some observations that I had from the road, as I frequently do when I come back from these trips.
Now with like a pandemic thrown in there too.
Yeah, honestly, all that did was
it just feels the same.
it just made hotels a bit cheaper, and I don't know. That was about it. I don't really interact with
Do you
people
go
anyways.
to touristy spots?
No.
And you're like out in the bush.
Yeah, I mean the nature stuff is a bit touristy.
Because I remember when you did the cross country one, there was like you would like take like a really beautiful photo, and then you would rotate 180 degrees and take another photo of like 800 people taking the same photo.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about like Instagram nature shots is you're usually like on the side of a road with like 30 other people.
It's kind of like it's kind of like when we did the SEMA video. We like got that shot at the end of you. Like we're like, you need to be like in the desert. Like kind of looks like, and it's like directly behind that is just like some houses.
Yeah, it's like a
It
residential
was like a
neighborhood.
housing development being worked on.
Yeah, I was just curious if like tourist spots are less crowded now.
Maybe a little bit.
There's
But
probably no international tourists.
that is true. I was definitely like
International.
in between. This is in between tourist seasons because it's before snow, so no one's skiing, and it's kind of after when people are like wanting to camp and
All the
hike
leaf
around.
peepers.
The leaf peepers. Yeah, it was a colorful year. That's for sure. Okay, so here is probably my biggest annoyance from this trip is Pacific Northwest is like mountainy, or at least the popular part of it is toward the coast. And so mountain driving in general has got to be like, well, I don't know, straight highway has its own annoyances, but you will be on a 2-lane mountain road, which most of them are, and they're mostly windy. And so it's like 45, 55, turn coming up 20 or whatever. And inevitably, if you're like me and you're like whipping, you're like an hour deep into a trance set, you'll come up on someone who's going slow.
Yeah.
And then eventually like the train piles up.
Right.
And it's like you're all following whoever's the slowest person. And then they will graciously give you a passing lane, right? It's like the road widens.
When it like warns you that it's coming up.
Yeah, it's like passing lane's coming, and everyone's like, "Thank God!" And the road widens, and what does the person who has been holding everyone up do?
They speed up.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
It's literally like a frenzy. Like it's like everyone just goes to like pack animal instincts, and they're just like all just trying to get in front of everybody. Even the guy that was driving.
Yeah, the guy who
it was causing this.
must be aware that everyone behind him wants to go faster. Just there's like blue smoke coming out of his exhaust. It's like, dude, let up.
Stands up.
And like they'll go like 10 over the speed limit because passing lanes a lot of times are straight. It's like now you're in the like straight section, and they're just like
really
on
lay
it.
into it.
Yeah, no, I'll make up for my slowness. It's like you're already slow. Just let everyone by, and so you'll
And
get
it's,
like
and it's not going to continue to be straight.
yeah, and then it gets curvy again, and they're
they're like,
slow as
whoa,
shit.
whoa, yeah.
And you're like on their bumper aggressively, and so you'll get like 2 people out of the 10 get to pass them because they decided to. And so the other thing is like, who picks where these passing lanes are? Because they'll be like, passing lanes coming up. And then it'll be like 600 feet.
Yeah,
like,
it's like it's
grade.
nothing. We got a little bit, a little bit of
It's
something.
like you have to want to pass badly.
That's when that V8 comes in handy, though.
Yeah.
How bad do you?
Yeah, it's like how dangerous are you willing? It's like around a turn.
Yeah,
That's pretty much the only time when like having an actual slow car where you're like, fuck.
Yeah, you're like upset.
Yeah.
Well, I just pull over. They give you frequent spots to pull over. It's like, I don't like having people behind me. Yeah. It's stressful.
Yeah, but I mean, like the only time when like having a powerful car pays off is
you mean to pass?
Yes. Yeah, like when you're on a 2-lane and you need to like pass a truck.
Yeah, and you can pass it like half throttle.
Like,
Yeah,
even like
true.
when it's 2 lanes and it's not like a passing lane, but it's just the dash line, meaning like the passing section where it's like, and even if like you see a car coming in the other way, you're like, I got enough room to
got this.
put it down.
Then if you're in like a Prius or something, like, oh boy,
I don't know.
Gotta be straight on. Okay.
You
need like a lead up to the passing car.
I do. I've started doing that where I'll downshift ahead of time.
Yes.
So
and then and you kind of start to punch it.
Yeah.
You give yourself this like runway instead of like deciding like waiting for it to upshift. Yeah. Anyways, that was annoying as shit. But one thing that I realized I do, which I was going to pull this off of here, but I didn't, so I'll just quickly talk about it, is when you're alone in your car, maybe it's just me, but I don't think that's true. Sometimes you, especially on a long trip, listen to music that you would not publicly listen to.
you mean like what someone else is in the car, you mean?
Yeah, no, it's just you.
Yeah.
Right.
Not when someone else is in the car. It's just you.
That's you would listen to music that you would not.
You will either listen to something that is more offensive than you would normally listen to.
Or more embarrassing.
Or way more embarrassing, yeah. And so every time I play something specifically in the embarrassing genre, I always have this thought where it's like, if I fuck up and get in like a bad accident,
that's how they find you.
Not only
find
that,
your phone.
Not only that's how they find me, but like I'm gonna be laying there bleeding out until like
this is the song I'm gonna die to.
Yeah, to like Owl City or something. You're just like the car's upside down, and you're like pinned, and this is still like blaring.
Little Carly Rae Jepsen or something.
Yeah, something you're just like, fuck, I gotta turn this off before the ambulance gets here.
Your last breath.
Your last breath is fucking Owl City blasting. I don't know why I think about that, but I mean, seriously, every time I'm listening to something, I'm just like, don't fuck up.
This does not look good. Wouldn't be a good look.
This wouldn't be a good look.
That's like one way to stay awake during like a long haul, middle of the night. You start listening to embarrassing music.
You just like singing along to it, and so trying to keep yourself awake. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of losing it, I was around Mount Hood, which is like kind of...
It's by Seattle, right?
No, it's like Central Oregon. You're thinking of Rainier.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
So I was like Central Oregon, and it's like no one's around because it's off season for this area, but it's still mountain roads and stuff. And so I was shooting a overnight time lapse. So it's like sunset to sunrise with stars in the middle. And I left the camera out there. Sometimes I'll like camp next to the camera. And in this case, I was like, it's fine. Like no one's going to find this thing. No one's going to come across the camera.
It's like when we left the cameras on the side of the road.
Yeah, no, it's not like that. This
on
is
a
like
public road that we witnessed. Like there's at least 6 cars per hour that drive by.
Yeah, no, this is like, it's not even on a path. It's 2 a.m. Like no one's going to find this thing. And so I'll go sleep in a hotel while this thing runs.
Does its work.
Yeah, well, it does its work for me.
The battery, how does the battery work?
I have a large external battery that is plugged into it.
Okay.
Although they can freeze. I mean, it froze one time. It got down to like 18.
Then you just lose it.
And the battery just froze, yeah. It worked when it thawed, but it's a little bit risky.
Sure.
But anyways, I was like, I'd rather have a good night's sleep, so I left the thing. But I have to get back to it by sunrise, by like first light, because then the settings need to be changed. And so I get out of my hotel. It's like 5:30 in the morning, and it had, I mean, California has such tame weather. I just don't have experience with
weather,
any kind of like adverse road conditions. But I get out of the hotel, and it has froze the night before. So the road is ice. It has not. Yeah, it has not snowed. The
Just
road
icy
is
cold.
just like a thin
ice.
layer of ice.
There's just a thin layer of ice everywhere, and cars have not been on it yet.
Right.
Yeah, you're the breaking.
I'm the first.
Yeah.
Yeah. California driver is the first, and so I have to get like 15 miles on mountain roads back to this camera on ice. And so I've never really driven on ice.
I don't think I have either.
Yeah, I was like, I suspect this is dangerous. I mean, it appeared dangerous, so I'm being very careful.
Like, did you notice like right from the start it was ice, or did you?
I walked on it, and it was like,
and you were like, ooh,
shit. Yeah, I was like, this is ice, but it didn't snow. It's just everything.
It's cold and damp.
Is cold, yeah. And so I'm driving, and it seems to be going fine. I'm like, it seems fine. So I crank the Owl City because I'm in the clear. So I'm driving, and I'm not sure what happened. If this just happened, or I like changed lanes and went from something that at least had maybe one or two people already drive on it to something that didn't.
Pure.
Yeah. But here's a little note about the LX, by the way. That thing has better weight distribution than the M5. It's literally, it's 50-50. It's like within pounds of 50-50. So with that in mind, so the front and rear just loses it at the same time. So I'm going around a curve at like, the speed limit on the road is 55 and I'm probably doing like 40, but it's still fast enough to it's still maybe too fast. And so it just starts sliding. It just loses it.
Yeah.
And it's like
the straight road.
no, it was around a curve,
okay.
And it's just cliffside.
Yeah,
it's just
there's not even a railing.
There's a rail, but it's like a little bitch one.
Yeah, well,
it's like you can.
It's not gonna hold.
They're surprisingly more sturdy than you think.
They're sturdy, but it's probably going to come up to like mid rim.
No, there's going to be some damage involved. Yeah,
I could very much go over this thing, and so it just starts to slide. And I was like, I don't even know how to counter this.
Come on, bro.
When you like stay in it,
you got to go back to your driving. School
well, I mean,
techniques.
I'm like
turn into this.
I do what you would do into a slide, but it's like, what? Do I lean on the ABS or do I try? So it's just like it starts to slide, and I'm just like, that fuck. Like, all right, it's been a pretty good run.
Crank up the music.
Yeah, you mentally prepare for the worst, and thanks to my diamond steel reserve and lightning reflexes and the 1,000 cycle per second traction control, it just pulls it back in. I've never needed stability control like that before, especially in an SUV, and it just brought it back in perfectly. I was so impressed by it. I was so impressed. And then, so I get there, it works out, the shot's good. And I was like, am I just like bad at this? Like what? Like, how is this not more heard about how treacherous it is?
Icy roads.
Yeah, icy, it's like, it's cold, but it's not that cold. Surely this happens a lot. And so I get the camera and it's like the sun has come up now. So I'm like, okay, the roads are probably fine now, and I can like see people driving on them. So I'm like, all right, I feel a little better, because that shook me. I wasn't feeling great.
Spoiler alert: you fell off the cliff on the way back down.
Yeah, and so I'm on my way back the same way I came up, and kind of like questioning, like, did I fuck up? Like, why am I the one who slid? Like, don't, because you'll see other people who clearly know even less than I'm. It's like, how did I slide? And so I'm driving back, and I see this guy on the side of the road who has just flipped. His truck is on its side, and he is clearly just like gotten out of it. And he's waving me down.
Yeah. Speed by.
And he makes direct eye contact with me. And the words out of my mouth were, "Oh shit, that's crazy." But I was like,
you almost were in that spot. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay, so this is dangerous.
It does happen.
Yeah, it does happen. but I was on a tire.
You just kept going.
I mean,
Come on.
I strongly considered it.
You knew
Well,
that.
what was I going to do?
Pandemic,
How
bro.
am I going to help him? First of all, it's a pandemic.
Yeah, that's true.
He wasn't wearing a mask.
You know, we don't know each other's.
You don't know what kind of pod he's been.
He looked fine.
Yeah.
He wasn't hurt.
Fine. Cellular service.
There was no cell service.
Oh,
But well, that was partly why I was like, what can I do? Because like I looked at it, I was like, I'll call 911. And I was like, there's no service.
Yeah.
And I was like, well,
A ranger will be.
yeah, it's like, I'm not going to be able to help.
Someone
and
like a wench will come by.
yeah, and I had somewhere to be. But the look of disappointment on his face
Should have taken a picture.
when he realized I wasn't slowing down and we were looking at each other. I mean, he was just like, what? Like he had just gone through something
Traumatic,
very clearly very traumatic.
I'm pretty sure I would have stopped. I would have stopped just for the emotionals.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I would, if I were on the other side of this table, I'd be like, dude, why didn't you? I don't even know why I didn't stop. I don't know. I'm the type of person who stops.
Just that
And
California lifestyle.
I just drove.
You probably saw those California
I
plates.
just wasn't in the mood. I don't know what it was.
You weren't in the right place
weren't
to
feeling
deal with
It
it.
just wasn't. I mean, it was just like I'm sorry, but it was. There were people on the road. Someone, the next person will stop.
It wasn't like a totally deserted.
Yeah, no, not at all. No, he's fine.
You probably froze to death.
Yeah. Checking the obituaries tomorrow.
I felt pretty bad. That didn't sit well.
He survived
with me.
the accident fine, but then he froze to death when no one helped.
Yeah.
You left a note saying how some California driver in an LX 460
I know. I just felt
Found it on his frozen
white male.
corpse.
yeah, the note was in his hands. Yeah, so sorry if you're listening. I am really sorry about that. I think that might even be illegal. Aren't you supposed to render help?
I don't
I think you're supposed to. I don't know
Able-bodied?
if there's a law, but
It feels like Oregon law.
Well, I know you're supposed to, like, if a police officer, I don't know if it's any like
Civilian.
an EMT or something like that, but if they request your help, you have to help them.
Like, only an EMT. You mean?
I don't know. I mean, like a police. I don't know if EMTs count
Okay.
that, but I know if a police officer
I'm
says
sure
like,
most of
"I
them
need
do.
your help" or "I need
Oh,
your vehicle,"
got it. Then you
have to
jump
help
in.
them.
Well, this guy didn't look that
Yeah.
official.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, sorry, dude. Hope your truck's okay.
What like when did you replace the tires on the Lexus?
During the trip, after that fucking happened.
Okay, I was gonna say
Because the tires on there were like suspicious, but they had tread. The tread was
were they
fine.
all weather? They had to be.
They
probably.
were, but like, you know, an all-season tire isn't going to do. Nothing's going to do shit in ice. But
I mean, well, it'll do more than something that's not all.
they were
season.
definitely all-season
Okay.
tires. But they just, I mean, the history of that car, I was just like, I don't trust anything about this car, including these tires, even though I'm staring at the tread on them.
Because I just know when I first got the Jeep, it had the OEM Pirelli run flats, which they're definitely not all season. I don't know what they're technically rated.
Sure.
But like we have a cabin up in the mountains. And so like
Yeah.
I drove up there in the snow and it was slush. It did fine on like the main highway where there's tons of traffic. But the second I pulled off that to like get to our cabin, it was just like,
No good.
no, I was just like four wheels slipping. Like I was gunning it. All four wheels are slipping and I'm going backwards.
To try to get up.
Down a fucking, like it was like
minimal-
1%, maybe
Yeah, yeah.
2.5%.
Yeah.
I was like, this is shit.
Yeah, so I was very like, you know, when something once bitten, twice shy. The whole rest of the trip, it was like as soon as it dropped below like near 30, I was so scared. I was so overly cautious. So yeah. Anyways, it worked out.
Except for the guy.
Not for that guy. I mean, for me, it worked out.
I'm sure he had insurance.
It worked out good for me. Yeah, he was fine. Looked good. Speaking of Oregon, what is the deal with not being able to pump your own gas?
Yeah, I know it's been like that forever. There, I assume that. I think there's other states too where.
Yeah, maybe I'm making it up, but I think someone said New Jersey is like that too.
That rings a bell, yeah.
And so it's like as soon as you cross the border into Oregon, it's like, oh fuck, right, I can't pump my own gas. And so I was like kind of lamenting this at a Napa, and the guy was like, "There's no law. You're allowed to."
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And he was like, "Yeah, they just do that so they can hire people." And I was like, "Oh, okay, like whatever." And I was kind of driving, and I was like, "What?" Like,
just to give jobs to the able.
Yeah, what? Like that's the opposite of how a business works. Is like are they just trying to be nice? But I don't know. Every time I went to a gas station, so after that I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like get out and like kind of confidently start pumping my own gas.
Right.
And so I go to a Chevron and I get out, and this guy, they have one person trying to service every car.
Yeah.
And so I get out and the guy's like, "Oh, I'll be right there, sir." And I was like, "No." He's like, "Oh, it's fine. I'll be right there." It's like,
it'd be funny if like the pumps are all like complicated for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
you have to like type in a password or something.
Now I'm handing a guy a credit card in a pandemic. It's just way more interaction. But then it's weird too, because it's like, do I ask him to wash the windows? Like, okay, he's pumping the gas. Can I get out and start washing the windows, or is he going to try to do that too? You know, do I have to tip him?
Yeah, I don't know. Do you have to tip him?
I didn't. I mean, I didn't.
I would.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I didn't. I don't like it. When I was near the border, it's like I'm just going to go up to Washington to get gas. I don't like it, Jesse. If you can chime in, if somebody from Oregon, let us know like why they do it.
Yeah, I don't know, because Oregon doesn't have state tax, does it?
Yeah.
Do they have sales
They
tax?
do not,
Yeah.
which is nice.
Yeah.
Because a burrito will be like $11.
Yeah.
On the menu, and then they're like,
$11.
that'll be $11.
Yes.
You're like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah. What's
Crazy.
going on here?
Yeah.
So I don't know if something that has a factor. Maybe not.
I don't know. It just didn't make any sense to me, but I was not a fan. I didn't like it. Okay, two more things. One is, you know what? I'm dropping this. I don't need to complain about this. Nah, fuck it. I'm doing it. When you go in a direction on Apple Maps, maybe the other ones are this bad too, and you like miss your turn or something, it just sort of like finds a new way.
Yeah.
Like you were on the popular route and it's like, oh, you missed the exit. And instead of just being like, turn around, it'll be like, here's a new,
Yeah.
like rerouting. And so like a lot of times I'm in places where it's like, I don't know where I am. I'm trusting the navigation. And I will get to places where it's like, there's no fucking way this is the way people go to get where I am.
Right.
Where I'm on some like bumpy, poorly maintained road in the middle of nowhere to go to what I think is a pretty popular destination. So it just kind of pisses me off that there's still no priority for like, yeah, get me there and only go on highly trafficked.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't go.
Don't reroute through someone's house.
Yeah, I think the only way is like you can just avoid toll roads, I think is one way to do it.
Yeah. Are you cheap?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So finally, for just this recap, I met sometimes I meet photographers on these trips. I'll just like be somewhere and they also are doing the same thing.
Fellow road warriors.
Leaf peepers.
Yeah. Fellow leaf peepers. And so I met this woman who was a photographer and also like a stunt woman as her day job. So very interesting.
Like for film and television?
Yeah,
Dang.
for movies. And so we kind of like linked up for a day or two because it's like we're both sort of headed in the same direction. And so we're driving. It's like late at night and it's storming on and off. And I don't know where I'm going. And so it's like kind of tense, whatever. And she's behind me.
What was she driving?
She was in a rental Kia something.
Ooh.
Forte.
Okay.
Sedan?
No. Yeah.
Something that could really handle that.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, I've never met anyone. I mean, she's also a stunt driver. So, like, having her behind me.
Yeah, why isn't she in front?
Yeah, I would not have been able to keep up. She was very aggressive. I'm like,
And she's in a rental car.
yeah, and she's in a rental car. I'm like driving pretty quick, and I look behind me, and she's like cutting apexes and stuff. It's like, geez. And so she calls me, and she's like, pull over up here. I have something for you while we're driving. And I'm just like, I don't want to pull over, like what? And so she's like, pull over. And so she runs up to the car and she's like, I have a snack for you because I know you're hungry because we haven't eaten in a while. I was like, okay.
What do we got?
And so she gives me what is, I think, unless you can think of something else, the worst road snack.
So I take it you didn't tell her about the podcast.
No. No.
Hopefully at least you exchanged emails. She has your number, obviously, right?
She does have my number.
We'll have to get her on the cast.
Yeah, bring her in here. And so she goes, hold your hand out. I was like, okay.
Step one.
Step one, it's not going to be in a bag.
Red flag.
Hold your hands out in a cup shape.
It was. Hold your hands out. And she pours seasoned, unshelled pistachios into my hand. Just in my hand. And I was like, thanks. What? I guess.
Yeah, I didn't ask for the...
And so not only do you have to...
Yeah, you have to deshell them.
They're full of
dust.
Powdery goop. It's so bad. And then where do you put the shells?
Then you have to dispose of the shells,
Yeah, so my cup holder was loaded. I still ate them.
They're still good.
I still drove with my knees. But yeah, anyways, I was thinking, is there a worse road snack than this? Possibly.
I mean,
maybe peanuts.
Just
shelled.
Oh yeah, shelled peanuts.
Yeah, shelled peanuts.
Or
just pretty much shelled anything.
Shelled walnuts.
Yeah.
You have to
the little nutcracker.
Yeah, you gotta get the lever cracker. All right, fair enough. Shelled walnuts.
It's the same family.
It's the same genre.
What are are they not sesame seeds? Are they sesame seeds?
Sunflower seeds.
Yeah, sunflower seeds. What people eat at baseball games.
Yeah, but you can pack those in your mouth.
Yeah, but you still have to spit them out.
Or you could just swallow the shells.
Yeah,
because they're flavored.
I do that with walnuts. I just put a whole one in my mouth. Snap that thing in half.
Get them sunflowers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we should be eating sunflower seeds while we.
That's a good podcast food.
Yeah. Anyways, shout out to road trips. Those are my observations. Welcome back, me. Okay, a little bit of new car news.
Moving on to.
Yeah, a couple new things have happened, but one of them is noteworthy. That is the 2022?
Yeah.
2022 Subaru BRZ was unveiled days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Mere days
ago. Is there no Toyota version? Or
I think there is. I haven't seen anything official, but there's got to be.
There's probably, because Toyota's still making it, right?
Yeah, they're still a partner in it.
That's wild.
I'm pretty sure that they're.
I wonder if they're going to try to make it more different or something.
I wouldn't think so.
Well, did Subaru do more of the work this time? Because didn't last time they just pretty much did the engine and Toyota did everything else, right? Or no?
I'm not entirely sure who actually
did what.
Who knows?
But I know that Subaru is a bigger part of Toyota now than it was.
Okay.
When they
just because when I was reading about the new one, it seemed like Subaru engineers had done more of the design and everything this time.
It's possible. I assume there will be a Toyota version coming. Pretty quickly, I would think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what do you think?
I think I like it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think it's a very worthy follow-up. To me, it's everything that you would want. It's what you want to see in a next generation of a car.
Yeah.
Where they hopefully addressed most of the stuff that people didn't like.
Other than the power.
Other than the single most complained about.
Well, I mean, they improved. I mean, they gave it 30 horsepower.
I mean, yeah. I don't know.
I mean, they're not gonna make it fast. I don't think anyone.
Maybe the bigger displacement just gives it more low end power. I don't know.
It should.
Just because I remember when you had yours, it was just like you literally had to be kind of similar to the RX-8. You just have to be above 5,000 RPMs to feel any of the fucking power.
You just got to stay in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Stay in it always.
So maybe going from a.
I mean, it's 400 cc's bigger.
Right.
Yeah. Part of me is couldn't you have just fucking given it
a turbo? Yes.
Not even a turbo. Just the old one was 200 horsepower. Is that right? Out of a 2-liter. And now this one's 228 out of a 2.4.
Yes.
Even 240, even if they had stuck to that horsepower per liter, but it's like it's almost like part of the objective was like needs to be a little underpowered.
Yeah, I think it did.
like,
Can't push it too much.
We can't. Yeah, like
we can't make it faster than.
Well,
a
supposedly
WRX.
they say now that Toyota does not want to like eat sales from like the 4-banger Supra.
Oh, you think so?
That's supposedly. I don't know.
It's probably that and the WRX. Like they don't want to make it faster than a WRX.
I
Presumably.
wonder. It's such a different vehicle. Well, with that said, it like at least they pretty much exactly delivered on everything. Well, we haven't seen it drive yet or reviews, but it seems like they pretty much delivered on everything that was good about the first one. Yeah. Where usually it's like, no, they ruined it,
right,
or whatever. It's like it seems like it's
the thing you liked about the old one. It's gone.
If you like the old one, it's like here it is. And I have to say, the looks of this one are like way better.
Yeah, it looks like way more substantial.
Yeah, like, usually I think we've talked about it before. Usually it'll be like, oh, that front end's sick, and then the back's like, yeah. Where I've heard people say that, where it's like, I like the front more or the back more. To me, it's like they both look great. Mm-hmm. Like the side is obviously kind of the best, or like kind of the front 3/4 or whatever.
I think they did a better job making it look like a sports car.
Yeah,
rather than like
it does look more mature,
like a Hyundai Genesis.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a Scion TC like sport. It's like, this looks, it's a cheap Cayman or something. Right. It like actually looks like its own thing. So,
although I mean, maybe the original one looked like that when it came out, but that was 8 years ago.
Yeah, the rear on the first one, when I see them now, it just looks so like budget car.
That's true
to me. I don't know what it is. This
tail lights are chrome.
Yeah, this one. Not only does this one look good, but that fender vent is like that looks like something they would have like dropped in production.
Yeah,
made. Yeah, that was too aggressive. No, it looks great. I mean, it's more of the same. It's better. It's just newer and better. It's what you want to see. So.
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing is that is a car that you would think they could very easily be like, no, we're not going to make. Like, we don't need to be making. Something that.
It didn't sell that great,
especially not recently. I mean, like when it came out, it was a fairly big deal. But
yeah, I mean, it's cool, and they made it quite a bit stiffer. That's pretty awesome. Like a car that was already stiff, they made it better. So if that motor is a little bit more exciting, which it very well could be, then yeah, I'm into it. I don't know that I'm excited for it.
It's no GR Yaris.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's cool. I would say they kind of like hit it. That's kind of that's what you want out of a new car.
Right.
It's like, great, awesome, you delivered, and the stakes were semi-high.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be I don't think it'll be too much more than the old one is.
Oh, price-wise?
I mean, I'm sure it'll creep up a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be like, it's $35,000.
Yeah, that would suck.
I'm sure it'll be like $29,900 starting or something.
Yeah.
But then dealer markup.
Oh yeah, for the first.
It's gonna be the hottest.
This is a very special
vehicle.
Yeah. When the FRS came out, it was like 23, wasn't it?
I think like the cheapest
like
one
the
was
base, probably. I
think it was like it being very cheap,
25 or 24 or something.
Yeah. Huh.
You had like some special edition one, didn't you?
Yeah. I forget, like the 10 series.
Right. Yeah.
Dang. Special. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing like actual reviews or driving one. That'd be great.
Once the GT Sport version comes out, Garrett, you give us our.
Put it through its
you can just let us know. We'll have an in-depth review where we zoom in on parts in the photo mode.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, good job, Subaru. When does the WRX refresh?
I think I remember. I want to say there's some like leaked like product schedule, and I want to say it was like maybe like fall of next year
to talk about it, or for it to be produced.
Probably to like debut it.
Oh, really?
I would guess like a spring of next year. Probably.
That car, I have to say, is like destined to disappoint.
You think so?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like the new NSX, where it's like what people's idea of what a WRX should be is on a level where it just can't be.
I'm pretty.
You talking about the WRX or the new STI?
Specifically the WRX, but I guess, well, I don't know. Maybe
because the new STI is going to be like a new motor, whereas the WRX, I'm assuming it'll just be a tweaked version of the FA20.
I just feel like it's gonna.
I don't know if it's true, but like the next WRX is supposed to be like quite a bit different than the Impreza.
That would be great because that would be one of the things.
Well, they've been doing that in the past couple of years.
But I mean, you could still look at a WRX and Impreza, but that's a turbo.
Yeah.
Impreza. But like supposedly the new one, like I'm sure that's going to be like similar underneath.
Yeah, but
it'll be like very. Like it's not like that's a Impreza with dual exhaust.
I mean, that would be great. I hope I'm wrong. It just feels like something where people are like, no, why doesn't it? Oh.
This doesn't feel like a WRX.
Yeah, or like they're immediately like the old one is better or something. Where
what I think is crazy about Subarus is that like cars like John's, if they're like stock,
and
original, they're like fucking expensive.
Yeah. 07 is mine. Like 06, 07 are the same.
Like a nice like 07 STI is probably like $25,000.
Yeah, for a stock one.
It's like, or you can get like a 2016.
Yeah.
For like this, like a 10-year newer one with the same engine.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's
virtually the same price.
I think it's because they didn't really change them. I mean, those kinds of things. If the newer one is not that much better,
but it's almost like John style is like more than a 2015.
Yeah, because you only look cooler the older you go. Yeah, if you're not
the Toyota,
it's the same thing.
I was in it from the original.
Yeah, it's no different. It's like if you're not penalized, or it's like but those are drastically. It's like you can get the new one.
See, I see it as the opposite. We're like you can have the same motor and like a little bit nicer
much
car.
lower. Yeah, no, then you're clearly a poser.
You're just buying cars on the old spreadsheet.
Yeah, you're spreadsheet jockey.
Pencil pushing.
The 07 had a bunch of soul. Mm-hmm. It stands out.
You don't have heated seats.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see it. I'm sure everyone is, but I just feel like it's like the BRZ had to deliver almost exactly what it was. I don't think anyone really has any like false image of what a BRZ is.
Yeah, it has been around long enough.
Where I kind of feel like a WRX is like anytime you have people who are like, the WRX is just like this insane
king of the road.
Yeah,
it's my religion.
Yeah, it's kind of like a stock Supra or something, like a Mark IV. It's like no, they can maybe sort of be that, but the product was never that. I mean, that's what the NSX was. It's like no matter what that thing was, people weren't gonna like it, even though it's
damn budget NSX though.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Supposedly that's what the Type R is gonna like. The next Type R,
Civic Type R.
Yeah.
Is going to be what?
Like I think I heard like it's supposed like it might have like a rear like electric motor or axle or something.
Oh, it's like a NSX philosophy.
Like trickle down NSX into like a hot hatch.
That would be wild.
I don't know if that's actually going to happen. If they do, it'll probably be pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
$50,000.
Very special vehicle.
Very
special. Yeah, I'm very curious to see. The new Civic debuted too. Was that only on Twitch?
I mean, that was like where they.
But now it's in other places.
Yeah, well, I mean, although they didn't really say that much aside from just showing.
They just showed
it.
It
Looks like
it looked good.
Yeah,
I like it.
It looks very kind of Acura.
Yeah,
it looks more upmarket.
I liked the older Civic. I like the current Civics look better.
Really?
They just look. I mean, that one looks more civilized, I guess.
Yes.
Just looks, but I feel like once you see 8,000 of them a day, they're just gonna look boring.
Not as sporty.
Yeah, the current ones look.
Some people just
sporty.
John's just sporty. John's just more of an old school kind of guy. His Civic's gonna hold value.
Likes the 10th gen better than the 11th.
It's just a good round number, 10.
I'm just glad that they've already basically said they're gonna make another Type R, right? Like,
I think they can
keep happening.
And an SI.
Isn't there spy shots of it, or is that something else?
I think there's been some like prototypes.
I'm just gonna wait for the fan renders. That's
because I guess the big thing is they're closing the England factory where they built the old Type R or the current Type R.
Yeah,
and the new ones might be built in the U.S.
It's gonna be like Kentucky,
or maybe in Japan, I guess. But.
Oh man,
Detroit.
Either way,
future's
bright. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming out. Dang, new 4Runner too. That's coming pretty soon.
Well, I don't know about that.
I can't wait.
I think they got a few more years to milk out of the current.
I heard it's going to be a turbo V8. That's what the rumor
twin
mill.
Turbo V8 hybrid.
The rumor mill's saying. Yeah. Okay. Well. Here's a banger of a topic.
All right. So every once in a while, you'll make a claim that
You need to walk.
Wasn't
back
it literally?
on.
Was it last episode or 2 episodes ago where you literally said you would not take a Chevy Bolt for free?
No, I said there's a lot of cars that I wouldn't take for free.
That was the ultimate hypothetical.
No,
wasn't
that was where it came from.
Hold on. Let's let him.
No, I'm pretty sure I said like I'm not sure if I would take a Bolt for free.
Okay.
Because I have mixed feelings.
I mean, no, you had the opportunity to take a Bolt for free,
and I wasn't sure.
You did not.
Well, I did not at the time.
Maybe we'll have to play the tape here.
Go to the tape.
I dislike the Bolt enough where I don't think I'd take one for free. I know for sure like a Trax I would not take for free.
Agreed.
Okay.
Right.
But anyways, so
you heard it here, folks. He's claiming he wouldn't take a Trax.
See what happens a week from now.
You could just kill me if I ever.
Yeah, you just want that Carbros plaque.
Yeah. So the old Bolt, like we've talked about the Chevy Bolt being
numerous times.
Being, I don't think it's a disappointing car. Maybe it's like disappointing in
what it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the world looks at Tesla and what they deliver. Okay, now Chevy's coming up to the plate.
Although I do think that was mostly like the stupid media being like Chevy's Tesla killer.
Yeah.
Like I don't think.
Yeah, honestly, they never.
Yeah, I don't think anyone at GM was like, oh, fucking Elon. Eat shit.
Eat this. Yeah, he's not gonna know what to think.
But anyway, so like we've been still looking for like a second car, just like a beater, basically. That's still
something to replace your Clarity.
Yeah, something that's like new enough to not be a piece of shit, but not that expensive.
Okay,
which is how the aforementioned free Bolt came up. But I was looking at like used one, like a 3-year-old one is like $12,000.
Okay, how many miles?
Like 40,000 miles.
Okay,
which is like pretty cheap for a car that new.
Yeah,
of any type, really.
That's like half off from what you would realistically pay.
I mean, a new one is like 35.
But don't they sell for like way under?
They probably sell for like 25, 26 grand.
Okay.
And they're
so that's a pretty severe depreciation.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a Chevy fucking Bolt. But anyway, so I went and test drove one. Like, this wasn't the first time I've driven. I think this was probably like the third time.
Okay.
I think I went and drove one like right when they came out, and then I drove one like a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
And first of all, like I think I said this before, but like the situation in which you test drive a car can have like a huge fucking effect.
Yeah,
totally.
like the mood of the salesman.
That, or it's like driving, like going into like a hot dealership, like where it's like physically hot outside, it's all uncomfortable, and like, okay, the salesman's gonna sit with you, and like he'll okay, you can fire it up, and then you're gonna like sit in traffic.
You're wasting his time a little bit,
right, and like
you need to make conversation.
Yeah, you'll be like sitting there like at a light, and be like, let me look at the steering wheel. Like you're like trying to like, okay, I'm test driving this.
Time,
like, what am I going to do? But so like a lot of test drives I've done have been like that, where they're like, you don't really learn anything.
Yeah. Then afterwards, you're like, all right, let me try to recap.
Yeah. You're like,
how that actually felt.
Yeah. Did that actually serve me?
Do anything
like putting through fucking traffic
instead of talking to him about my job?
Yeah. Oh, you do photography?
His kids,
my daughter's into
his
photography.
Kids who may or may not exist.
So anyways, like I guess because of COVID, like a lot of like the protocol has changed for test drives.
Okay.
I've driven a couple cars at dealers, and like some are like, oh, I'm gonna wear my mask and sit in the back, and other people are just like, here are the keys.
Yeah. Oh,
so like this was like pretty late at night, and so I went. I just like they had a used one, so I was like, I want to check that out. And he's like, okay. So he just like took a copy of my license. So here's you go. Like come back in 20 minutes because we're closing.
Sweet.
So it was just like take the car out and like drive it as hard.
So much different.
And I have to say, like the Bolt, like kind of impressed in that situation. Just like as a fucking electric beater for $12,000, I was like, damn, this thing's not bad. Although I still strongly dislike the way it looks.
Yes. Once you could really lean on it.
Yeah, but I mean, like it's pretty, like it's fast. It's like as fast as like a hot hatch.
If they made a gas version of that car, it would be considered very fast.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it does like 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds or something.
They would
and
be.
I mean,
like
it's fairly comfortable. It's cheap. It's cheaply made.
Yeah, I've ridden in them as Ubers,
but it's also a fucking. I mean, at $35,000, it's not cheap. But at like $12,000, you're not really expecting too much.
The true retail price.
Yeah.
Right. So I said the only thing I don't like is just the way it fucking looks.
Yeah.
It looks cheaper than it needs to be.
What about the interior?
The interior, it's fine. I mean, it's not high quality, but
it's kind of.
Is it equal or less than your Clarity?
The Clarity's a little quite a bit nicer, but that's a much.
What about your Fiat?
It's probably on that level or a little nicer. I mean, it has, a 10-inch screen with CarPlay, and like it has everything you would need. Sure. It's probably like the ideal car not to care about. Yeah. It doesn't have a fucking engine.
It's great.
Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't. I don't know if I still don't know if I could actually buy one just because I don't.
You don't want to deal with us just relentlessly.
It's the perfect like spreadsheet car.
Yeah.
For the money.
Isn't that exactly what we fucking said last time?
It's fine. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. No, but
them. I mean, like, I was like, I wouldn't make fun of it, except I've softened on it, except for like, I still don't like the way it looks.
You've matured on it.
I mean, the problem I have with them is kind of solved by buying it used, because when you see someone driving one, it's like, really? Like you although
I don't think that many people that are driving those paid anywhere close.
Well, but when they were new, that was the image in my head. It's like, that's what you picked.
Well, same thing. Like, I mean, a BMW i3 is like $50,000 or something.
Yeah, but
it's sticker price.
That was at least like a statement car.
Yeah,
like I just didn't.
It's more fashionable.
I had some degree of desire when I saw an i3 or a Bolt. I was like, what? But now if they're like used and whatever, and it's just like, sure, that guy's.
It's like if you want a modern car not to care about.
Yeah. I mean, I was driving a 98 Civic for years and talking about getting a Prius, because it's just like some cars as beaters.
I was actually looking at Priuses too as I talked, but like Priuses are fucking, just like anything with the Toyota name.
Yeah.
Is just like super beat up. It's almost like a weird catch-22.
Yeah,
where it's like, I'll pay a lot of money for this shitty car because it's a Toyota.
Because it's a Toyota.
Yeah, I'll put up with the fact that this interior's been vomited.
Yeah, it has 250,000 miles.
Yeah, and it's on its 8th owner.
And for some reason, like the people that sell Toyotas, really any Toyota.
Just like shady as fuck.
They're just like, they always have like a bunch of cars. Like, very good car, like very reliable Toyota.
Yeah, they're just like itching to sucker you in.
As you fucking experience first.
Lexus sellers, let me school you on.
They're a different class.
It's a different tier.
Yeah.
They don't try to fool you. They just do it without warning you.
They just put the knife right.
Yeah, they don't warn you they're about to stab you. Yeah, I mean,
so we'll see.
It's a tough one. If you're gonna buy a Toyota, you kind of either need to buy it new.
That's what I mean. Like, there's no reason not
or to buy it. like only a couple years old,
where it hasn't really dipped into
from whatever the first owner. But then
it hasn't swapped hands.
Yeah, but then it's so expensive.
Too many times.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, you would think like a 2010 Prius, fucking 11-year-old Prius with like 180,000 miles. It's still like $7,500. It's like it's not free.
Now you're seeing why old Toyotas are so expensive. It's like, here's one that's nice. There's no stories. It's just you're bidding on it and it's nice. Even though I have to say, Toyota trucks on Bring a Trailer, since I like kind of know about them.
You're part of the scene.
Well, because I had the 4Runner. Like, once you own a car, you know enough about them because you've touched, you've lived with it and you know about buying them and whatever. The ones on Bring a Trailer are so clearly being flipped.
Yes, yeah.
They're like more than almost any other vehicle I've seen on there. But again, I guess I don't know those markets. But like, Bring a Trailer is slowly turning into smart dealers finding stuff and like painting the plastic.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And like they're doing, it's like high-end flipping.
There's a lot of leeway in there to
and they're just, like, I'm looking at this stuff and it's like low mileage 4Runner and so it's like, this isn't nice. This thing's clearly been,
like what specific parts to replace because those are the specific parts.
If
they can put a little sheen on it.
It's like Toyota truck specific sheen. And people are just eating that shit up. I mean, not only are they overpaying for something, they're way overpaying because it's like, dude, this, like, are you not looking at how sun bleached the dash is? It's like, but they don't know. So it's kind of too bad. But speaking of Toyota trucks, so a little segue.
A couple weeks back, I was researching for a story I was writing, and I was looking at like old press photos of like 1980s Toyota pickups when it was just there was no Tundra, there was no Tacoma.
Yeah, it was just
the Toyota truck.
You would go to your dealer and you would buy a Toyota truck or maybe a Toyota van.
Yeah. Did it? I wonder what it said on the slip. It's probably just truck.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't even think it had it.
And then the big one was like the T100.
That wasn't even. They didn't even come out with that till like the 90s.
Yeah, that was like 90s. How are we going to differentiate it?
We got another truck. Oh shit!
Big truck, bigger.
The XL. Yeah. So, anyways, there was this press photo. I think this was 1987. John will put it up in a second if you're watching. It's pretty simple. It's just three guys.
Yep.
Like I assume they took this to show. It's like a cutaway.
Didn't it have a caption that was like "space for all"?
Did it? I don't know if it had it was just like there was like a picture without the people, and then there was a picture with.
Yeah, it's like spacious,
and it's like obviously they're trying to show.
Yeah, you can fit three.
It's a family vehicle.
You can fit three grown men
comfortably
in the truck.
And this is like obviously Toyota trucks are very small
at the time. Yeah, they're like you could hug them.
Yeah, there's no extended cab. There's no back seat.
So this is just a bench seat. And if you're audio only, the photo is just like it's top down, three guys in the bench seat of a Toyota truck and like trying to look like they're having fun.
Yeah,
but like,
they're just like,
they're like mid conversation.
They're all like pretty fashionable by 80s standards.
The guy in the center seat has his shoulders are behind stacked,
tucked behind
the two other guys' shoulders, so they're staggered. There's not enough room for flat shoulder to shoulder space.
And I like to imagine the driver shifting.
They have just conveniently blacked out where the shifter would be because obviously it would be right in this dude's crotch.
Did it come in automatic back then?
Yeah, I think you.
Maybe it's the automatic.
They probably weren't very common.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just don't show it.
No.
And then the passenger, the window seat passenger, has his arms crossed.
He's like,
because there's nowhere for him to put
his hands. Yeah,
it looks so cramped in there. But they're trying very hard to make it not look cramped.
I guarantee you, like all three of these dudes are like 5'10" or shorter.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah. Smaller men trying to.
I was gonna say if we could find a Toyota truck and like a pick apart, we should try to
make it happen.
This photo with 3 6 foot plus guys.
Imagine like getting in a fucking accident.
You're dead.
Well, even if it was just like a fender bender, you'd be like, I would have been all right, except for like Tom's shoulder broke my arm.
The driver and passenger shoulders were dislocated by the guy in the center who only has a lap belt.
Yeah.
And was thrown forward.
That's just in like a
into the shifter. Have you ever done that? Have you ever had to like ride or drive where there's someone in the center of a stick truck?
I think I must have at some point.
It's like long shifter. Yeah. And you're like
getting real close.
Yeah, you're like touching their leg as a joke. It's just like it's a good time. So I can only imagine that's what they're doing here, but awesome.
I just really admired this.
Room for your buds. Yeah. Okay.
The whole cab is just like a mound of flesh.
There's just
they've packed every cubic inch of that cab with flesh.
I think they hit the like gross vehicle weight limit just on man.
And those are fucking like 1980s guys when like people were pretty thin.
Yeah.
People were smaller back then.
You imagine like today's like average male.
Full grown American men. Yeah. It's going to be like spilling out of the windows.
Like each of these guys is probably like 5'6", like 140.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty sweet. Okay.
Hats off to Toyota.
What's up, Toyota? So I just wanted to note that I honestly don't watch that much stuff on YouTube anymore. I don't like look for new channels or anything. Like it's a bit of a graveyard in some ways to me. But when I do come across just someone's video or someone like links check out this thing or something, it's like how do people, or even repairs, or you're just you're trying to learn about a new car or something, and it's like, here's the review, and you go to a channel that you've never heard of. It's like Tim's Reviews, every one of them still, I don't know who decided on this formula where it's like, today we're going to check out the new like RAV4, like let's go. And it's like, and they all have this like intro that they like bought.
It like shows their highlights.
They clearly bought some like After Effects transition.
Yeah, no, it's not even the highlights. It's like gears.
Yeah, it's
and
like
sparks,
some 3D rendering.
And then like his logo slowly fades in. It's like, do we all need the gear and spark logo?
Do we forget what we're watching?
Yeah, and then the O of Tommy starts spinning like a tire and like makes smoke. It's like every fucking time. It's a tack needle racing toward red line.
It's branding.
It's revving, and then there's a burnout. It's like, oh, is this a car channel?
I get it.
So I don't know. Just stop, I guess. Or not.
That being said, they should like TV shows should just get rid of the fucking intro. Like, I mean, I know they're supposed to show the credits of like who's in the show, but it's just sweet that like Netflix and like all the other things, they just give you the option to skip that now.
Yeah, it's like this weird like old style thing that people. It's like then you put the intro.
Yeah, then you put the intro with the credits and the producers and the director. It's like no.
Although some shows certain ones would like do a pretty good, like they would always like kind of stagger the intro. Like, well, not every show, but like certain shows would be like,
there's some little cliffhanger.
Well, yeah, it's like, or like you never really know when exactly the intro is going to start.
That's how these are.
like the pre-roll thing, like The Office does, where they have a little short
clip.
clip.
But even like other like
or they'll like reveal the main plot or something.
Yeah. But even still, then you still skip the intro.
Right. But at least there was like some like. It was like technically part of like the edit, like the storytelling.
The only place where I think it's acceptable is like a 90s family sitcom or something where they like wrote a song like Full House or like Step by Step or something. The like montage with like a singer and he's like singing the Family Matters. It's like
it's giving you a little synopsis of the plot.
It like sets you up to watch the show, where most of them are just like, I don't care. Skip this. Tommy with an O doing a burnout.
Maybe I don't know if I would still feel the same way today, but like old film intros like Fight Club. Do you remember like the intro to that where it's like it's all creative and like it's like and then like it actually like ties into the movie. It turns out like you were like in the guy's brain or something or like some microscopic.
Then there's like other movies like I think like a lot of like the old James Bond movies, and it would just be like it'd be like sort of cool, but like the movie would just start with like a 5-minute like musical thing, like
a little dance silhouette thing.
But it's like it was sort of cool, but like nothing was happening. There wasn't like,
and they would run like all the credits in this whole movie. Like, key grip. Like start the movie. What are you doing? Damn. Okay. Speaking of, did you put this in here?
Yes, I did. So like a month ago, we put a bunch of parts on my Mustang. A bunch of like steed up suspension stuff.
You put the parts?
Me and my father and I. We both
the boy.
You handed the tools to your dad?
No, I was filming.
Held the flashlight. You were filming and held the flashlight. Okay.
Garrett breaks the big nuts off. Anything with high torque.
No, I do it after they're loose.
You do it for the glory shot. You tell your dad to hold the camera.
So anyway, the one good thing about YouTube is like if you're working on a car, especially if it's a popular car like a Mustang,
there's a million.
There's
videos.
fucking anything you're gonna do. There's like 12 different videos showing the fucking thing like step by step.
Yep.
Yeah, after you watch their fucking
intro. What's up, everyone? Welcome. But the thing is, like anyone that's worked on a car knows that like nothing ever goes
as smoothly.
It never goes as smoothly as they show in the video.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed that they do is like they just use this like kind of blur transition,
like a cross dissolve.
Yeah, where it's like it's still the same shot, but like it's like it's not a jump cut.
Right.
Like I forget what we were. It was we were installing an air box on my car, and then you have to like fit this kind of like piece of weather stripping around it that like insulates it from the hood.
Yeah.
And like so they show it's like okay, install the thing, and it's just like on the video, it's just like
it kind of just warps on there.
Like it shows them putting on, then like they just kind of cross dissolve, and then it's on. Okay,
then it's like all on there. Yeah, it looks
like I'd like to see the technique.
Yeah, but then in real life, they're like you have to try it like 4 different.
Yeah.
It's just like that seems like the trick that they use.
Well, they used to do that in like the more kind of TV show repair stuff. Well, I'm even blanking because this like isn't a genre, but they'd be like, remove the oil pan. Today on whatever.
There used to be shows.
And it shows like the first bolt, and then it's like
the power block.
They would do the like time transition, and he's like pulling the
it's not really showing you.
Yeah, it's like. Are those even those shows are just like gone now? Didn't they used to have kind of
there's like the power block on TNN?
Yeah, but it wasn't like zany personalities and
they were
just deadlines.
No, they were just dudes. Like
they're just like
today we're going to do an Edelbrock carburetor.
Yeah. It's like, do you want to watch someone work on a car?
It was essentially like the automotive version of like This Old House or whatever.
Yeah,
with Bob Vila. Yeah,
that's like, is that still a thing?
Probably is.
Probably not.
Anyways, they used to do stuff like that where it'd be like, remove the carburetor. And he's like starting on it, and then it's just like then it's off. Time elapse, and he's like, his knuckles are all fucked up. He's like a different.
It's like on that one they make it pretty obvious that they're like, but this one it's just like a very subtle like
gesture.
They'll show them like doing one thing and then just like cross dissolve into the same shot.
Well, it's probably because like the camera didn't move. 30 minutes have just elapsed where he had to like look at some other YouTube video.
Yeah, it's like there's no possible way they did this without like any. It's just like cross it up.
I mean, a good video will be like, here's where you'll fuck up.
Yeah, like here,
and so like here's where I like it when they do that where they're like, and this thing's not coming off, so we're gonna, it almost, it almost gives you license to be sloppy with it.
Right.
It's like,
hey, well, this guy did it. No problem.
Exactly.
What the fuck is wrong with me?
Like, well, he just manhandled the fuel lines out of the way or something,
Or even if they do like cut away to like, all right, now do this, and then all right, now here it is off. They'll go back and be like, well, that was actually really fucking hard, and so this is what I had to do.
This is where I lost a finger.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm glad that they have them, but some of them it's like, you like cross-faded through the step I'm struggling with. Like, thanks. Yeah. Anyways, still glad they're there.
It's definitely helpful.
Yeah. Okay. And finally, little holiday relevant topic.
We're recording this the Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend.
So. Yeah,
fresh just after Black Friday.
Doesn't it seem like in general this year specifically there has just been an increase in like new items being sold and then scalped,
selling out
on eBay, selling out, and then there's just like scalper, like that's kind of always been a thing, but it feels like
it really seems like anything that's just a fucking good has just gone up in value.
Well,
like,
even
no matter what it is.
As sad as this is, like it's starting again. We're like toilet paper. Like people are hoarding toilet paper or just buying it and reselling it.
Exactly. That's a good point. It's like buying and reselling shit this year has just been like a new market.
You don't understand the hustle.
The hustle, yeah.
I'm going to insert a new layer of brokers. In between, money to be made here.
Layer of human interaction.
It's like it's illegal for stores like to do price gouging, but individuals, it's free market.
It's just funny how it's like, oh, you know what? I bet there's a market if we buy goods and then resell them at a slightly higher margin. That's you're just inserting a layer between what is already happening, and so pretty much every popular like piece of electronics this year and toilet paper
specifically video game,
but like video games. I just bought a camera, Canon, if anyone follows that was the same way. It took me months to get it. You get it on eBay,
but at least you could order it and it just said like, this is back ordered, we'll like let you know when
that's true,
we'll get it. Whereas like the new graphics cards or like PS5 and Xbox, it's like it's just we're out of stock, and it's like we don't know when we're going to be in stock, and when we are, you have about like a 3-minute window.
There's people just like refreshing the thing.
I mean,
daily.
There's got to be like bot farms like Scalper.
Now you have to like
there's
write
like
a
crews of scalpers.
bot.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain like Twitters that you can follow that like
here's where this is in stock.
they're like it's in
here,
stock.
go.
Yeah, and so like people.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Go
mean,
for
what
it.
a shit show. But
Yeah,
it's just kind of annoying where it's like all this stuff is on eBay at
Yeah.
double the price.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, is there anything less respectable than, I mean, honestly, I kind of don't have a problem with / admire people who used to like buy tickets to a concert and then stand in front of the concert.
Oh, yeah.
And like, what I think of when
they're
I
at least
think of
standing
Scalper.
in the elements, in the cold.
putting in
Yeah, they did something hard and like got a thing and now they're making money.
And there's not even a guarantee that they're going to sell those tickets.
They're out there in the cold, risking, interacting with people. Where these people who didn't leave their bed, basically,
Yes.
are like ordering stuff and then selling a screenshot of the shipping information on eBay. I was like, come on, people.
Yeah.
It's just scum.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is cars have never been like that. New cars. Because the dealer,
The dealer is the scalper.
yeah, that's the only
Dealers
industry
already
where
scalping.
Yeah.
the dealer.
I mean, they kind of are. I've seen
Yes.
people do that.
Yeah.
Where like it's not big. It's not easy to do.
But I mean,
because if you want the hot thing, you probably can't get it.
well, but I mean, like, no, that the dealer system allows the
is
dealer
marking
just to
them up.
scalp.
I'm just saying if you manage to get one at MSRP, I've seen
yeah.
people
Oh,
do
yeah.
it where it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you're clearly flipping that thing, but you can't get a steady stream of them at MSRP
no.
because the dealer's already beaten you. Just a little something extra for my effort.
Yeah, so we were joking the other day, like, because people were lining up in front of GameStop.
Yeah, because GameStop
other
was
day
going to
to-
have
to get-
the new consoles in stock, but only on Black
Oh,
Friday.
it's very special.
Yeah.
Day. But it was like how if GameStop was like a fucking Ford dealer, just be like, oh, this manager, like, it's just like a PS5 would be like $750.
Yeah.
Oh
You're not
yeah.
gonna
This is a
find it
very
cheaper.
special
Yeah.
console. Yeah.
It'd be funny too if they're like, we're gonna get some Type R's on Saturday. And there's guys like camped out. Come on, baby! It's like taking the day off work. I got it. I got the new Type R's. Like doing donuts in the parking lot.
The news is there.
Yeah, it's like shit. People waiting. Yeah,
Or I mean, like even like the Apple, like each Apple store manager gets to like set his own. And he just fucking just all goes to him.
Yeah.
Just-
the iPhones are $6,000 at the Manhattan.
but they have them.
Yeah, they've got them there if you want to pay markup. Steve's Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really like I was able to get 2 PS5s just because I'm pretty like
He sold both of them.
no
Pretty connected.
yeah, I'm pretty like
It's pretty deep
into that thing, and thankfully I work at a job that's just I'm sitting at a desk on the internet all day, so the second they went live I was able to
Except they never fucking
Snaggerino.
What do you mean?
the PS5 like that was like the biggest problem. They weren't like they're going on sale like tomorrow night.
Oh, I mean,
They're
they
just like,
they-
oh, here,
they-
okay, we're going.
Well, they did say. I mean, Sony said they're going on sale at this time.
Did they?
But that was for their website.
but everyone-
where all the other
Everyone
websites
else
were
jumped
just
the
like,
gun.
yeah, all the other.
If you don't
websites-
want to wait.
yeah, we're not waiting.
Walmart's going for it.
Yeah, that
It's just such a like extra level of shittiness on a year that has been so hard for so many people. It's like, and you don't get the thing you wanted, bitch. You have to wait for it.
But I'm really kicking myself for because I just sold my other one to Garrett for the same price. I paid for it.
retail.
He just
At
retail.
pre-order.
You should have at least made him wait outside your house
Exactly,
overnight.
yeah.
I did have to drive across town.
That's true.
I'll sell it to you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
Yeah, I should put out. Yeah, just have a. Fucking,
You made it seem pretty easy to get a hold of them, but apparently
I mean,
not the
if
case.
you're like,
Should've
if you were
embellished.
focused on trying to get one and you really wanted to get one, I mean, I know people that
it's just a matter of how bad you want it.
exactly, yeah, and if your job allowed you to
Gotta
just
want it.
drive to the local GameStop at any minute, then you can get one.
Anyways, good luck to all of you who still don't have your MacBook Air, Canon R5, PS5,
Your GeForce
Xbox,
RTX.
RTX, any of the
any of
any
the
of the new
hot-
graphics cards and or processors,
any of the
and
exciting products from
Yes.
this year. But you can purchase them on the Carbros eBay account.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for listening. And hope you had a good and safe Thanksgiving. And we will see you next time.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
We should really work out who says it. What order?
I thought you were going, bro.
I usually say it last.
All right, fine.
I'll edit all this out. We're fine.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
And that's it.